A factory audit is not a guided tour, and a wall of certificates is not a conclusion. The purpose is to reduce a purchasing risk with evidence that can be traced, sampled, challenged, and followed up. Before the first video call or site visit, write the decision the audit must support. Are you qualifying a new fan supplier, approving a new product family, investigating a recurring defect, or checking readiness for volume production? The answer determines the scope, the people, and the evidence you need. Build the audit around risk, not around a generic checklist. Map the purchased fan to its critical requirements: duty point, noise, balance, electrical safety, material, dimensions, mounting, environment, approvals, labeling, packing, and delivery configuration. Then connect each requirement to the process that creates or protects it. High-risk characteristics receive deeper sampling and a stronger verification method. Low-risk office paperwork should not consume the time needed for design control, incoming material, production, testing, or change management. For a remote audit, request a controlled evidence pack before the meeting. Ask for the legal site identity, organization chart, process flow, equipment list, quality plan example, calibration register, training authorization example, recent production record, nonconformity example, corrective action example, and a sample test report with sensitive data redacted. Agree on recording permission, document privacy, camera control, language, time zone, connection fallback, and which evidence must be shown live. A polished presentation can orient the audit, but it cannot replace live navigation and record sampling. Start by confirming identity and scope. Match the company name, physical site, product family, and processes actually performed there. If a certificate is relevant, check its organization, address, activity scope, dates, issuer context, and whether it applies to the product and site under review. Do not convert a framed document into a current status claim. Also separate outsourced operations from in-house operations. For each outsourced step, ask who owns the specification, approval, incoming verification, performance monitoring, and change notification. Next, choose one recent order or representative build and follow it from requirement to shipment. Begin with the customer's specification and approved drawing revision. Trace it into the bill of materials, routing, work instruction, inspection plan, equipment settings, operator authorization, material lot, in-process checks, final test, label, packing record, and release approval. The goal is not to collect every document. The goal is to see whether the same identity and revision survive across the chain without unexplained substitutions or missing approvals. Now walk the process in the direction that the product moves. At each step, ask 4 questions: what input is accepted, what control prevents error, what record shows the control happened, and what happens when the result is outside the limit. Visible assembly or inspection activity can provide useful context, but it does not prove capacity, yield, traceability, or process stability. Sample the actual work instruction and a completed record. Compare what the operator does, what the document requires, and what the record says happened. Testing deserves its own evidence chain. Seeing a wind tunnel, environmental chamber, balance machine, electrical tester, or dimensional system is only the beginning. Ask for the test method, equipment identity, calibration or verification status, environmental conditions where relevant, software or fixture revision, authorized operator, sample identity, raw result, acceptance limit, review, and disposition. A chamber full of products does not reveal the temperature, duration, sample plan, failure definition, or outcome. Those fields must be shown by controlled evidence. Use sampling deliberately. Select records across different dates, shifts, product families, operators, and outcomes when the risk justifies it. Include at least one normal result and one exception or rework path. Start from a finished unit and trace backward to material and process records, then start from a material lot and trace forward to affected units. If the 2 directions do not reconcile, record the gap. Sampling does not prove every unit is conforming, but it can reveal whether the control system is coherent and whether exceptions remain visible. During an on-site visit, triangulate what you see. Compare the prepared route with actual material flow, quarantine areas, identification, storage conditions, tool status, measuring equipment labels, revision control, scrap handling, and work in progress. Ask questions at the point of use, not only in a conference room. Protect privacy and safety, and do not film people or documents without permission. A clean room at one moment is not evidence for every shift, so combine observation with timestamped records and interviews. Remote and on-site methods should close different uncertainties. Remote work is efficient for document structure, revision trails, record sampling, interviews, and pre-selecting witness points. On-site work is stronger when physical flow, storage, tooling, segregation, measurement setup, environmental conditions, or unplanned observation matter. If a risk cannot be resolved remotely, label it open and assign an on-site, third-party, sample test, or production witness action. Do not force a green score merely because the call ended. Write findings so another person can verify them. Separate the requirement, objective evidence, observed gap, risk, immediate correction, root cause action, owner, due date, and effectiveness check. Avoid vague phrases such as improve management or pay more attention. A photograph of a correction proves only that one condition changed. Closure may require a revised control, trained personnel, updated records, a new sample, and evidence that the problem did not recur across an agreed period or batch. The final decision should show evidence strength and open risk, not just one total score. Classify each critical requirement as verified, partially verified, not verified, or not applicable, and link it to the source record. Then decide whether to approve with conditions, require corrective action before approval, conduct a focused follow-up, or reject the scope reviewed. That is the complete method: define the decision, map risk, collect evidence, trace a real order, witness controls, sample records, close findings, and preserve open gaps. For a project-specific audit, request an evidence-based fan factory audit checklist from Longwell.